Do I regret the fact that he has quite obviously conducted himself in a manner unbecoming?
In a tense and unforgettable royal encounter, Prince Andrew shocked everyone when he gave Princess Catherine a chilling death stare that froze the entire room. Witnesses say the atmosphere instantly shifted, with even seasoned royal aides caught off guard by the prince's unfiltered glare. But it was Prince William's reaction that truly stole the spotlight, a mix of anger, disbelief, and protective resolve. What could have caused such visible tension between them? Today, we uncover the shocking truth behind Andrew's unsettling moment with Catherine. Prince Andrew's unsettling glare during the Duchess of Kent's funeral. It began on the 16th of September, 2025, at the quiet, sorrowful funeral of the Duchess of Kent. The skies above Westminster Cathedral were pale and still, as though even the weather understood the weight of the day. The grand stone pillars stood like silent guardians, their shadows stretching across the crowd that gathered outside. It wasn't the sea of faces seen at larger state funerals, but those who came showed deep respect. People stood in silence. Black coats buttoned tightly, gloved hands folded, heads bowed. The only sounds were shuffled footsteps and the occasional echo of a church bell. Inside, the cathedral looked like a painting made of grief and dignity. Dark flowers, mostly lilies and roses, lined the aisles in carefully arranged clusters. Thick candles burned slowly, releasing a faint scent of wax and smoke. The choir sang soft hymns that floated through the air, reaching every corner, reminding everyone that even royalty bows to death. Members of the royal family sat at the front. King Charles III remained still, focused, and composed. Princess Anne sat near him, calm as always, shoulders squared, eyes fixed ahead. Queen Camilla was absent due to illness, leaving a noticeable space, though nobody dared mention it aloud. Every movement was controlled, every breath gentle. Then came the Prince and Princess of Wales. William walked first, quiet and respectful, offering small nods to those nearest. Catherine followed, dressed in a black coat dress, a small veil resting over her face. The room changed the moment she stepped in. Stillness deepened, voices stopped. The weight of future royalty settled over the space like a soft cloud. But the arrival no one prepared for was that of Prince Andrew and his ex-wife, Sarah Ferguson. Whispers swept through the cathedral. Andrew had stepped back from royal duties years earlier and rarely showed himself at official events. The fact that he chose to appear today raised unanswered questions. Sarah moved quietly at his side, her hands clasped, her face solemn. For a moment, it seemed like the family chose to ignore their presence entirely. The service continued. Hymns, prayers, scripture. They even played the Duchess's favorite piece, Ave Verum Corpus. Heads remained bowed, hands folded. A funeral is a place for humility, silence, and unity. But Andrew brought something else entirely. While others reflected, his eyes moved restlessly, scanning the pews as though searching for attention. And then the uncomfortable detail. He stared at Catherine with a strange smirk hidden beneath his expression. Not respectful, not grief-stricken. Something colder. It was small, but not unseen. A single disrespectful moment in a room built on tradition. At first, control held. Order remained. Yet slow, subtle tension crept into the atmosphere. The energy in the cathedral shifted, almost like a whisper of conflict brushing past the guests. Andrew kept trying to engage with family members, leaning forward, attempting small gestures, trying to catch eyes, but every attempt died in silence. No nods, no small smiles, not even polite acknowledgement. It became painfully clear. He was not welcome. Sarah tried to ease his discomfort with quiet words and nervous smiles. But nothing changed. Each passing minute created another invisible layer of distance. Andrew's face tightened. His eyes darted around the room, longer, sharper, searching for anyone willing to meet his gaze. No one did. He tried whispering to a cousin near him. They looked forward and pretended not to hear. He offered a hand to someone else. They politely avoided it. The rejection was subtle, but unmistakable. Still, he kept looking at Catherine, too long, too directly, like someone trying to prove they hadn't lost power. And then, as the final hymn ended and guests prepared to stand, Prince Andrew shifted. Inch by inch, he positioned himself differently, angled toward Catherine, preparing to step forward. His jaw set, shoulders stiff, eyes locked. It was no accident. It was a move, and that was when the calm shattered and eyes turned to witness the moment that changed everything. What did Williams do, and why did it leave the entire cathedral frozen, watching? Keep watching to find out. The silent message at the Duchess of Kent's funeral. From the moment the cathedral doors opened, the atmosphere carried more than grief. It carried tension. Prince Andrew had tried, time and time again, to get close to his family again, through messages, gestures, and polite appearances. But nothing worked. Still, something about this funeral made him believe that today would be different. Today, he was determined to speak to someone whose response could change everything. Prince William. As the final hymn faded into the stone arches, the congregation rose for closing prayers. That was when Andrew made his move. He stepped toward the aisle, careful, slow, almost as if he feared the ground would reject him too. Sarah Ferguson followed just behind, her expression calm, though her eyes hinted that she understood this moment might go very wrong. Ahead of them stood William and Catherine. William's posture was firm and steady, his hands clasped neatly. His eyes looked forward, focused, not curious, not welcoming, not even cautious, just uninterested. Catherine stood beside him like a shield in elegant silence, her black veil hiding most of her face, but not her strength. Andrew leaned in, shoulders tense, mouth shifting like he was ready to speak. But William didn't turn, not 1 inch, no nod, no glance, no acknowledgement. The rejection wasn't loud, yet the effect echoed through the room. People close enough to see the scene traded glances. They knew what they were witnessing. Catherine didn't need to whisper a word. She mirrored William's rejection perfectly. The two stood united, unyielding, immovable. Andrew tried again, edging closer in tiny steps, desperate for a reaction, even a tiny shift of the eyes. But William stayed frozen in royal silence. Catherine matched him, breath for breath. The message could not have been clearer. Boundaries had been drawn, and William wasn't crossing them. Inside that cathedral, where respect and dignity should have prevailed, the true divide within the royal family stood wide open. There had been whispers of a rift before, but this moment turned whispers into something undeniable. Then came the heartbreaking walk, the coffin of the Duchess of Kent moving slowly down the aisle. The organ played as the royal family followed behind. William placed a gentle hand on Catherine's back, guiding her softly, a silent promise that they moved together as one. Behind them came Andrew and Sarah Ferguson. The space between them was small, but the emotional distance was enormous. Observers caught every detail, the way no one spoke, the way no one touched, the way Andrew's eyes seemed to search for a chance that never arrived. And when the family departed, many expected Andrew to slip away quietly, out of respect, out of humility, or at least to avoid more embarrassment. But instead, hours later, cameras spotted him leaving his home, riding in his Range Rover as if nothing had happened. No apology, no change of tone, no sign that he understood the weight of the moment. The royal world shook again. To some, his bold appearance felt disrespectful, not just to the late Duchess, but to the entire monarchy. Sometimes, to understand the gravity of an event, it is best to look at its roots. Stay close as we reveal the major cause of his reaction. The comment that broke the royal peace. Stories of royal tension rarely come from one moment. They are built from a history of wounds, whispers, and words that can't be taken back. And this clash between Prince William and Prince Andrew stretches far deeper than a single cold stare. According to palace insiders, the real fracture began with something far more personal. A shocking remark Prince Andrew once made about Catherine, Princess of Wales. It wasn't a careless comment or a joke taken the wrong way. It was cutting, it was bitter, and it held a sting of jealousy that could not be ignored. Royal biographer Andrew Lowney, in his book entitled The Rise and Fall of the House of York, revealed that Andrew made this remark not long after Queen Elizabeth II passed away. That timing made the impact twice as painful. The monarchy was grieving, the family was supposed to stand together, and Catherine was stepping into a bigger role with dignity and strength. While others praised her, Andrew allegedly used the moment to belittle her. Looney noted that Andrew's behavior was driven by resentment. Catherine's popularity had grown more powerful than anyone expected. She was respected in a way that brought honor to the monarchy. Calm, graceful, and trusted by the public. Many even described her as the new backbone of the royal institution. But instead of seeing her success as a positive thing for the family, Andrew reportedly saw it as a threat. Insiders claim he mocked her in private conversations, speaking about her in a way that was rude and dismissive. And this time, it didn't stay hidden. Word reached Prince William. And for him, it was more than an insult. It was a line that should never have been crossed. Catherine is not just the future queen. She is his wife, his partner in rebuilding the royal image, and the mother of his children. So that comment, whispered behind closed doors, did more than spark irritation. It shattered whatever respect William still held for his uncle. Distance turned into avoidance. Avoidance turned into silent hostility. And the bond they once shared as family was gone. But the story does not stop there. Other scandals contributed to the feud, which has deepened the rift. And how did it all spiral into a family storm everyone tried to deny? Stay tuned. The silence that split the House of Windsor. The feud between Prince William and Prince Andrew didn't erupt from a single rude remark or careless slip of the tongue. It had been building for years, shaped by scandal, public fury, and deep disagreements over how far forgiveness should go. Andrew's name had become tangled with shame, and every attempt to rebuild his standing only seemed to make the divide wider. It wasn't always this way. Once upon a time, Andrew was admired. As the second son of the Queen, he proudly served in the Royal Navy, even fighting in the Falklands War. He was known for bravery, confidence, and charisma. For a while, he was celebrated as a royal who had earned his place, but his downfall didn't arrive with a single mistake. It came slowly, then suddenly, like a storm breaking open the sky. The greatest blow was his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. Photos, meetings, and disturbing accusations drove the public into outrage. The silence from Andrew didn't help. And when he finally decided to speak, the world watched in disbelief. His BBC interview in 2019 was meant to clear his name, but instead, it ruined it. His answers were strange, unconvincing, and at times, careless. He denied wrongdoing, yet provided no solid reason why he had stayed close to a man like Epstein. People didn't just doubt him, they rejected him. The monarchy took a stand. In January 2022, the Queen removed Andrew's military honors and patronages. His title of His Royal Highness could no longer be used in any public role. For a prince raised with the privileges of rank, the blow was devastating. But even then, Andrew reportedly hoped time would heal everything. He believed the public might one day soften. William and Charles saw it differently. To them, Andrew had become a symbol of embarrassment, someone whose name made headlines for all the wrong reasons. Royal advisors whispered that William had grown tired of his uncle's excuses and his refusal to take responsibility. William, who had carefully shaped his image as a steady, loyal family man, saw Andrew as the opposite, someone who clung to luxury, even after losing the respect of the public. So when Andrew made a disrespectful remark about Catherine, Princess of Wales, it wasn't just rude, it was unforgivable. Catherine is not only William's wife, she is the future queen consort, the woman who stands beside the next king. Insulting her meant insulting the future of the monarchy itself. For William, this was the breaking point. He quietly decided Andrew would never return to frontline royal duties, not while William had any influence. And when William becomes king, Andrew's exile is permanent. But not everyone agreed with that harsh line. King Charles faces a unique burden. He is both monarch and older brother. Childhood memories, loyalty, and decades of family life tie him to Andrew in ways the public doesn't see. There have been private moments when Charles has shown sympathy, checking on Andrew when he was at his lowest, offering emotional support, and even reportedly helping with a financial loan related to Andrew's legal settlement in the US. The man may have disgraced the crown, but the bond between brothers never entirely disappeared. Still, Charles knows the monarchy has suffered. The public expects consequences, not protection. The crown stands on trust, and trust lost is nearly impossible to recover. So Charles walks a tightrope, trying to protect the institution while refusing to abandon family completely. William, on the other hand, sees no tightrope. For him, the answer is clear. Andrew stays out. He believes even the smallest attempt to bring Andrew back, even quietly, behind the scenes, would stain the monarchy again. And William has made that known. Royal insiders have described heated discussions, tense private conversations, and William refusing to bend. To him, it's not about revenge, it's about survival. The monarchy cannot move forward if Andrew keeps dragging it backward. Their disagreement has begun to show in subtle public moments. At Catherine's Together at Christmas Carol service in 2024, Andrew and Sarah Ferguson were quietly left off the guest list. The palace claimed it was simply a matter of space, but everyone understood. William and Catherine didn't want him there, not at an event dedicated to kindness, unity, and trust. Then, at Easter 2025, Andrew attended church at Windsor, but William and Catherine did not appear. Some saw a coincidence, others saw strategy. Whatever the truth, it sent a message. They would not stand beside him. Small decisions, repeated over time, can turn into a permanent divide. Charles keeps searching for balance, William keeps drawing lines, and Andrew, despite everything stripped away, reportedly still hopes there might be a path back. To truly understand the extent of Prince Andrew's offense, we need to grasp the kind of woman the Duchess truly was. Stay with us as we explore her legacy, because through it, the roots of this feud become clearer. The Duchess of Kent's silent legacy. Catherine Lucy Mary Worsley's story did not begin with palaces, titles, or privilege. She was born on the 22nd of February 1933 at Hovingham Hall in Yorkshire, a peaceful estate surrounded by green fields, tall trees, and bird song. Her family belonged to the Old English gentry, respected, traditional, and well-rooted in the country's history. But they were not royals. Life at Hovingham was calm and uncomplicated, shaped by nature, music, and family values rather than power or luxury. From childhood, Catherine carried a quiet and gentle spirit. While other children dreamt of being seen, She found comfort in simple routines, long walks through the estate, helping around the house, and endless hours practicing piano and violin. She didn't just play, she understood music. Teachers often said she had a gift, not because she wanted applause, but because she poured her heart into every note. The way she lived as a child would later reflect the way she lived as a duchess, humble, calm, and kind. Her education followed the same path of effort and discipline. Catherine attended Queen Margaret's School in York. She studied hard, but what mattered most to her was purpose. She trained in Oxford to become a teacher, a choice driven not by ambition, but by compassion. Teaching for her meant opening doors for children who doubted themselves. Even before she ever met a royal, her life was built on serving others. Everything changed in 1961. That year, she married Prince Edward, Duke of Kent, cousin of Queen Elizabeth II. Their wedding at York Minster was historic, and for the first time after the war, a royal wedding was broadcast on live television. Overnight, Catherine became the Duchess of Kent. With the title came expectations, duty, and a spotlight she never asked for. At first, she followed royal tradition, attending ceremonies, honoring charities, and appearing at state events. But the truth was clear. She wasn't comfortable in that world. She didn't crave attention. She didn't enjoy grand receptions. And she never adapted to the stiff formality of royal life. Catherine preferred quiet conversations to flashing cameras and small acts of kindness over polished speeches. So she began to shape her role in her own way. As Duchess of Kent, she visited schools, sat with children, and listened to their dreams. She encouraged music, especially among children who feared they weren't good enough. Unlike many royals who shook hands and left, she stayed. She talked. She cared. People described her presence as warm, gentle, and real, rare qualities in a world built on protocol. Then came 1994, a turning point that shook the monarchy's traditions. Catherine converted to Roman Catholicism. It was a deeply personal decision. The royal family had been tied to the Church of England for centuries, and no senior royal had moved to the Catholic Church in more than 400 years. But Catherine did not ask for permission. She quietly followed her faith without press conferences or drama. She simply lived her truth. 2 years later, she took an even bigger step, one that shocked the country. Catherine stepped back from royal duties, but unlike others who retired into comfort or private estates, she did something nobody expected. She became a music teacher in Hull, one of the poorer regions in England. No bodyguards, no tiaras, no royal introductions, just Mrs. Kent, teaching children who often didn't know her history. She formed choirs, encouraged shy students, and gave confidence to those who had none. Parents later learned the truth. Some were astonished, others moved. The Duchess was not living a secret life. She was living a purposeful one. In 2002, Catherine made another radical choice. She stopped using her Royal Highness title. Most royals guard their titles with pride. Catherine surrendered hers freely, choosing simplicity over privilege. Her identity was not tied to status. It was tied to service. Her work in Hull inspired one of her greatest legacies, Future Talent, a charity launched in 2004. It gave children from poor families a chance to study music, learn instruments, and believe in themselves. Many of these children later became professional musicians. To them, the Duchess was not a grand figure from Buckingham Palace. She was the woman who believed in them when nobody else did. While her public life was quietly remarkable, her private life faced challenges. Her marriage to the Duke of Kent struggled over the years, and they eventually lived separate lives. But she never spoke poorly of him, never criticized the royal family, and never sought attention through scandal. Silence, dignity, and kindness defined her even in difficulty. She also loved animals, especially dogs. Friends said time with her pets brought peace, simplicity, and comfort, things she valued more than fame or title. What makes the Duchess of Kent so unforgettable is what she didn't do. She never chased power. She never caused embarrassment. She never traded dignity for attention. While other royals were caught in affairs, arguments, or scandals, she represented grace. In a world where headlines often highlight royal failure, she quietly showed what honor truly looks like. And this is where the contrast becomes impossible to ignore. While Catherine, Duchess of Kent, stepped away from power to serve others, Prince Andrew clung to power until it was taken from him. While she gave up titles willingly, he lost his through scandal. While she helped children in poor communities, he dragged the royal name into disgrace. From his ties to Jeffrey Epstein, to the disastrous Newsnight interview, to the legal settlement that followed, his reputation collapsed under the weight of his own actions. And then, at her funeral, a day meant for respect and reverence, Andrew's behavior became an insult. His staring, smirking, and failed attempts to force himself into royal conversations only highlighted how far he had fallen. It wasn't just disrespectful to Prince William and Catherine. It was disrespectful to the very woman being honored. She lived a life of humility. He lived a life of scandal. She brought dignity to the monarchy. He brought shame. And that is why Prince William's response was so powerful. He wasn't only defending Catherine from Andrew's cold stare, he was protecting the legacy of a woman who gave her life to the royal family with grace, sacrifice, and heart. In the House of Windsor, legacy matters. And at that funeral, one legacy stood tall while another crumbled. The Duchess left behind kindness, compassion, faith, and quiet service. Andrew left behind suspicion, controversy, and division. So, when William refused to acknowledge him, his message was clear. This was a line that would not be crossed. But how do you see the deep rift between Prince William and Prince Andrew? We would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.